Hey guys, Austin here, back with you at Beast Motel. Once you check in, you never really check out. So to begin, I have a couple things I'm going to apologize for in advance. One being the fact that if you hear screaming or yelling or TV, it is Sunday, it is football season and hockey season, so we have sports going on and just about almost every single TV in the house. Um, and the second thing is, um, I went back and watched my second or third video I made for this channel. And I noticed living here, even though I live here in the South, I talked really fast. So I'm gonna try talking slower. Bear with me on that, especially if you're just watching these. If you go back and watch my older ones, I hope you see an improvement from my first few videos up to starting now and on. So yeah, so I have for this video, I have a haul, obviously from the title, and then I have a channel discussion on some stuff I want to do for the channel RC, and I'll get into that later in the video. I'm gonna leave the boring stuff for last. So if you came for the haul stuff, you can just watch that. If you want to stay for the channel discussion stuff, you can watch all this. So the first thing is it's not a book, but it's a movie, and that is Black Christmas, the 1973, 74, something like that, original version. Um, I've never seen it. I've seen the remake, and I didn't think the remake was good. I'm really hoping this is better. Um, but yeah, I personally I got this because it's horror, and it's a classic horror. But also, it's hard to find good, not cheesy, good holiday, like November, December horror stuff. So I'll touch on this a little bit more in the channel update. So I'm kind of hoping to watch this come November, December. I also have Silent Night, Deadly Night coming in at some point too. Hopefully right at the end of the month. So when that comes in, I'll let y'all know. So yeah, so that's and just in case you're wondering, this is rated R if you can't tell. I believe this copy came from Australia or something like that. But I checked and it works. If you're gonna, that's a side note. If you're gonna order something and it's coming from Australia or like Canada or anything like that, go online and look up um, region codes that play in the USA and make sure you get one that's for your region. I'd hate to see somebody want to get this and find it super cheap and it's not able to play on your Xbox or PS4 or your DVD player or Blu-ray player. So yeah, so next, the first one, I don't remember if I put this in my last video or not. It's been a couple crazy days. I've made probably 15 videos, and I just haven't had time to upload any of them. Most of them are just kind of short little snippets, so I'm just throwing everything together in one video. And that's The Crow, the comic books special edition. Um, if you haven't seen the movie The Crow, or if you have, it was originally a comic book series first, and this a hardback. It's a good chunk of a comic book. I believe this is the whole series, and how the creator and author of the comic really wanted it to be. So I'm really looking forward to reading this. I love the movie The Crow. I don't know if I necessarily count it as horror, but it has some aspects of that gothic horror, I guess. So yeah, so I'm really looking forward to reading this. With the shelf up there. And this next one, I had made two videos before this one. I don't do editing or anything like that. What you see is what you get on here. If something messes up, I'll delete the video and reshoot it. So yeah, and so this was brand new, still in the package, and I was debating on if I was gonna open it just in case it kind of became like a collector's item or something. But my philosophy when it comes to books is if you have it, you might as well read it. I mean, if you paid for it, it's what you paid for is to read it. And so this would be The Dark Tower, The Gunslinger Born. I believe this is volume 1. Um, it's by Marvel, so the binding and everything is super nice. I'm actually just noticing, I'm kind of glad this is my third take, but I'm kind of glad because I noticed on the back here it says parental advisory, and I hadn't noticed that before, and it's for strong language and content. So I guess if you're younger, they don't want you reading this. And I haven't read any of it yet. I know this is there's multiple volumes, and I believe they go more in depth if you don't know the Dark Tower, you have the Gunslinger, which is his name is Roland, and he's chasing the Man in Black. That's as far as I'm going to go into it. If you want to know more, check out the Gunslinger by Stephen King. That's the first one. Yeah, this I believe these go in more detail and depth into Roland's past and everything. I believe they have one over the Battle of Tull. If you don't know what that is, just read the Gunslinger. That is easily the best part of the book. But yeah, so that is that. And then this last one I got earlier last week, but I forget. I put it on the shelf with the rest of my books, and I forgot to show y'all. In my second video take, I actually happened to look over at my shelf. That's if you ever notice me looking over, scanning, it's because that's where my Stephen King shelf is, or in my odd books on the bottom that I have yet to read. So yeah, so that book is The Talisman, which is, if you watch the horror show, or more specifically a part of it, Hail to Stephen King, hosted by Jaime and Fuego. If you see this, leave a comment below or something. Hi man, I love your videos. I've been watching for I don't know how long now, but yeah. And so he has a list in order of to read for the Dark Tower. Most of Stephen King books are related to the Dark Tower, but there's certain ones that he ranks them in that you should read to get a better understanding of the Dark Tower. And this is second behind the Gunslinger, the original version, not the expanded, updated version. So yeah, so I got this in, and it's like I said, I get all my books through eBay, Goodwill, secondhand shops. I'll occasionally get something on Amazon if there's a really good deal, or if I absolutely want to read it, or if I absolutely need it because I don't have it and it's gonna take too long to get there. So yeah, so that's a really good, just kind of plug for eBay, I guess. They're really good. You can find quite a few sellers that have multiple deals. Buy 3 and get 10% off, starting at 3 and then up. And so yeah, so that is the end of that, the haul. If you don't want to stay for the rest of this, you don't have to. I appreciate if you did, so I can have feedback. One other thing I will say is, at some point this week I will have upload a video for a book review for a book I actually finished today. I was going to plan on including in this, but then the first take, the video was 40 something minutes long, so I have to go over and kind of do notes over what I'm going to review about it and stuff. So yeah, so I gotta get my notes here. My handwriting is terrible. Don't make fun of me. So yeah, so I talked about this earlier. First thing I showed y'all, and it's Christmas holiday related. And so Edward Lorne, who's a fellow YouTuber, booktuber, I guess is our definition. I don't call myself that. I just try helping y'all reviewing books, not on how their writing style is. Just if I enjoyed reading it. But yeah, and he did a thing where he's picked, I believe it was the Lord of the Rings, starting with the Hobbit, then the Fellowship of the King. Fellowship of the Ring, the Two Towers, and the Return of the King. Sorry, I put the first and third book together. I read it chapter by chapter, section by section. And so if y'all want to do that next month, actually, to go with the theme, I was thinking something like Nosferatu. But if you don't have that, we could pick another book that y'all may have, that I may have, or if I don't have and y'all do, we can try it and I can order it and stuff. We can try that, do so many chapters and then do a review over and stuff, just kind of something, because I know we all read different books at different times, but I think it'd be cool for all of us to read and just give our opinions in the comments, do like a live videos type of thing, and have y'all leave comments below on what you think. So if you want to do that, leave a comment below and let me know what you think about that, or you can, I don't know if you can message me on here or not. If you want to message me, just look up God Family Texas, I believe, is my Instagram. If not, it's God Family Country. And DM me on there and let me know. So yeah. And so the next thing I'll say is, if we don't do that next month, which I kind of need to know here, like in the next few days, I guess. I'm gonna try taking the next 2 months. If we don't do that, I know December I'm going to try taking it easy on reading. If we don't do the buddy read, then November and December, I'm going to try taking easy reading, just because next year, starting January 1st, I'm going to try to read Stephen King starting a publication order going forward. So I kind of want to take it easy. I still want to read to keep my mind so I can kind of, still read at a good pace. But I want to take it easy just because I'm going to try hitting it hard starting the beginning of the year and all next year reading. So that's another reason why I got these when I did. So that way I can read those in between now and then. Or I can just, read those in between. If I get next year, if I start reading a book and I kind of get tired a little bit, I can go to those and then start back up after like a day or so. Yeah, so I'll be probably reading those, and then I'll probably be sticking with short stories. The short stories I may be sticking with are Joe Hill's 20th Century Ghost, Strange Weather, and then Full Throttle, because I had those. I haven't read them yet. I may try doing Stephen King's Night Shift just to get that out of the way, 'cause it's a short story collection, but it's in it's the first short story collection in his publication order. So I may pick that up and get that out of the way, so come January I can just focus on the main Stephen King books. Otherwise I may just sprinkle that in, a short story here and a short story there. So yeah, so like I've mentioned before, none of this is set in stone. This is just kind of what I'm thinking, leaning towards. My goal is to at least read 4 Stephen King novels next year, starting publication order. So that will be Carrie, Salem's Lot. I still get to decide if I'm going to do the expanded illustrated version that I have, or if I'm going to do the original copy. I've read The Shining before. I've read it multiple times, as I've said. So I'm going to skip over that. If it's a book I've read before, Stephen King was, I'm going to skip over it just so I can get the whole collection read faster. So next would be The Stand. And I think I'm leaning towards the original version of The Stand, not the uncut, unedited version, just for time's sake. And I've heard the original version, there's slow points, but I've heard the expanded unedited version, there's even longer slow points. So I'm hoping to read Carrie, Salem's Lot, The Stand, and The Dead Zone next year, Stephen King wise. I've heard The Dead Zone's a good book. I'm really looking forward to reading it. So that's what I'm hoping to read for King next year. And then I'm a huge history buff, so I'm hoping to read at least one nonfiction book next year. I'm kind of leaning towards either the Spartacus War or Hannibal, or I have another one that's related to Roman history coming in, hitting the mail next week, I believe. So I'm trying more than likely reading one of those. And then I also kind of want to read some YA, and that's young adult if you don't know. And I'm leaning towards the Lost Hero and the Son of Neptune. Sorry, they're up there. They're the Heroes of Olympus. The first 2 books, I'm kind of leaning towards reading those so I can get that series out, because I've read the Percy Jackson, the original 5. I've read those, and I want to get that second part of the series done, just so I've read them because I have them all. And then, like I mentioned before, I go to college, I go to school, and so I'm actually going to school for ministry, and that's as far as I'm going to go into that topic. This is not a channel for religion or political views or anything like that. Some books may have a theme or hint towards that, and if it's super noticeable and you read a book and it's super noticeable, I may touch on that, but I'm not going to express my political or religious views at all. So I'm thinking I may read it's called Christian Theology book. And I use quotations because it goes by, I've heard many names for it, so I just throw those 2 together. And so there's maybe some of you that don't want to hear a review on that, or that's not your cup of tea. So you don't have to watch it. But I know there's people out there that kind of look for those, and so I have some, because like I said, I'm going to school for stuff like that. So I may do that, and that may come towards the end of the year. It just depends. So yeah, so that is what I'm thinking for the channel. If you have any ideas or anything that you think we should or shouldn't do, please leave a comment below. I'm really hoping to expand this channel. I'm not doing this to make money or anything like that. I know some channels, they get super big and they do the Patreon stuff, and I mean, if we hit that, then and y'all want to do that, then that's something we can do. But we won't talk about that till we come to that bridge. This is just a channel for me to read books, which is something I love doing, and just giving y'all my honest opinion on them. So yeah, so if you like what you've seen or anything I've said, leave a like the video, hit subscribe. We finally got our first subscriber. Thank you. You may be the only one that watches this to begin with, so thank you. If this is farther along down the line and we have more, again, thank you to that first subscriber. I appreciate you for taking the time to watch this. So yeah, so like I said, hit the like button if you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see y'all next time.